Yo, what's up, guys? We are live. A lot to talk about. Went to New Jersey Collecticon today. We'll talk about that a little bit. Why I want to talk about, the opportunities that are there right now and whether we should be buying right now or not. I know a lot of people feel like they should wait. They feel like prices will still drop a little further. But that's the thing with timing the bottom. You don't really know when you're there. You don't know how much further it is. It starts to feel like maybe something potentially, like it could be a potential mistake, maybe where you do wait too long. And I think, for example, like what I saw at the card show, for example, should be something that you use to try to gauge whether things are going to go down or things are going to, crash per se, like people like to say. Uh, but yeah, let me share this to the Discord as always. Um, Oops, what was that? Okay. Where are we? All right, that's shared to the Discord now. So yeah, let's see oh, Pokepinner, what's going on? You got here quick. What's going on, man? Divine, what's up, man? I'm buying singles right now. Heavy modern. Outside, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Phillips, what's up? What's good, brother? Yeah, man. Thank you for stopping in, man. I try to go live on Sundays and Thursdays unless something were to happen that stops me from doing so. Maybe something family related, maybe some kind of like planned out event, But like today, I went to a card show. Well, I went to Collecticon in New Jersey, and I tried to make sure that I made it so that I could, have the energy just to be here of the time. Here's all my high points. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I try to do. I'm trying to do the best I can to help grow my channel in the most organic way. I a lot of people have had their channel grow like with different outlets or different sources or things helping them, whether it be like a different content creator, kind of shouting them out and bring them onto the channel, a bigger guy, pushing them. And I really, sometimes it feels like that push would be great, but it feels that much better when I'm doing it on my own. And when I say on my own, it really means you guys, and that has to do with everything that you guys do, whether it's like, comment, hype the videos. It helps push them out, and it really helps my channel grow. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. I really do. I really do. I try to put as much time into my channel as possible, to the point where I have to like almost like mathematically divide my time with my fiance's time as well. Let me fix my curtain. Look at my curtain; looks weird. I, I love my little evolution evolution curtain. But yeah, I do my best. At least I think I'm doing decently when it comes to that the effort, I guess. But yeah, man, without you guys, to be honest, without you guys, there is no channel that will succeed, right? Drunk, what's going on, man? How you doing? Your channel is my favorite. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. It means a lot. I don't expect anybody to say that, but there are a lot of good content creators out there, a lot of guys that have been around for much longer than I have. So when somebody says something like that, it definitely means something to me. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, how are you guys doing today? You guys do anything special today? You buy anything today? Are you? I know a lot of you guys are waiting. Um, Somebody already said they're buying singles. If you guys are buying singles, what do you guys? Is there anything you guys are focused on right now? I'm really interested to know what you guys are picking up. If there's a specific thing you're targeting, and things like that. Because I do pick up singles from time to time. Um, I like to pick up some promos sometimes that people aren't looking at. I will pick up some like of some of those cheaper illustration rares that people are probably ignoring because maybe they don't seem as valuable. And sometimes I do try to pick up some promos just before they take off. Not like they're gonna take off right now, but I don't want to wait till next year, for example, or 2 years from now, where things have already risen in value a decent amount, and now I'm like, wow, I should have picked it up, and it's already happened. That that um that metal Charizard from the Sword and Shield, not from the Sword and Shield UPC, from the Celebrations UPC. I kept debating on whether I should pick that Charizard up. When I was looking at that Charizard, it was $50. Do you guys have any idea what that Charizard is doing right now? Not only raw, but in a PSA 10, it's like freaking crazy. Like it's one of those plays that I kick myself all the time for not doing. That and also not buying Evolving Skies when it was like 1,300 because my fiance actually told me to buy because she felt like that was a great set and I didn't do it. And now it's just like no shot, So I've made some mistakes for sure. Anything gold and black, I'm a sucker for those, and anything white, like white charts. Yeah. Well, I do think those black and gold cards are like back in, like they're in style again, right? Like people are actually picking them up. At Collecticon today, I saw several of those, in particular the black and gold Mew. I saw a decent amount of, but then again, at the same time, that also means it was Sunday. I got there late. I was there for the last 2 hours of Collecticon, and those were still available, which means that whatever other gold cards were there were gone, and I didn't see that many of those there. So if they were there, they were gone at some point. So I think those black and gold cards are good pickups right now, especially, before, because like people tend to look back sometimes and like they'll see things come back into style somewhat, like it becomes a trend, and they're like, "Oh wow, I remember that card." Let's start picking up those black and gold cards. Look at what's been happening with the amazing rares. Yeah, it started with a Rayquaza, but now people are speculating with the other ones. They're speculating with the Kyogre, the Raikou. They all started rising at some point. So people start looking back. There's a lot of old cards that people are starting to look back on right now. In particular, myself, like I've been picking up XY full arts. So I do think those full arts are like really nice looking. So I've been picking some of those up. I'm buying booster bundles while focusing on the 30th. Yeah, the 30th. I don't know, man. I don't have high hopes for the 30th. The set looks like it's going to be great, right? From the leaks that we've gotten. Now, one thing that I will say about these leaks is just be aware. I'm pretty sure somebody can AI generate a whole bunch of those leaks. The things that we have now. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because it's been a day already since those like came out, and Poke Beach hasn't made an article on it, and that's odd for something to be legit and Poke Beach not to cover it. You know what I'm saying? So there's still a possibility that those leaks aren't real, but if they are, they're really nice looking cards for sure. I just don't have high hopes because of the prices right now, and because not only the prices, but the fact that people are willing to pay. I think in my Discord, I think literally like a few minutes ago, I think someone just said that, yeah, ETBs were gone, got a couple of UPCs and 4 booster bundles. So not only are the price is expensive. Let me put my phone to charge. Um, not only are they expensive, but people are paying them, and so that means that those prices are going to stick. You understand that? That's the same way we develop market price, right? Somebody has to buy. It doesn't matter what the listing is. Somebody has to buy a listing at that price, and now we develop that market price. So now people are buying ETBs at 100, possibly buying those UPCs at $400 at GameStop, right? Like pre-ordering. It's crazy. So I don't have high hopes because those prices are like insane. There's 2,500 in vintage waiting for me to buy this Tuesday on my work deck apparent. Oh my god, that's insane. That's insane. I mean, you've been doing a lot though as of late. You've been like really moving, at least from what you've been telling us in the Discord, and that's only what you've been telling us. So you must have been doing so much. On the cheaper side, been grabbing a ton of Charmeleon Blister promos. I like those. I do like those. And some of the better reverse ball hollows from Ascended Heroes. That's a good idea. I mean, I think if you're looking long term, and you're somebody that's willing to hold on to those cards for so much time, for like years, I think it could pay off. If we look now, look at all these reverse hollows from Sun and Moon that are starting to rise in value. Of course, everything even older than that, that's a reverse, people are buying up like crazy, right? Like the Crystal Guardian reverse hollows, the Holland Phantoms, those are like elite sets though, and they're really, really old. But I think that if you were to wait a few eras down the line, if you were to buy some of those nice looking reverse hollows, depending on the patterns, especially the Pokeball ones and the Master Ball ones that people probably don't value so much, you might end up doing well. That might be a play. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. That might be a play. The reverse ball hollows, the Master Balls from like Black Bolt and White Flare, and whatever other set has a design like that, something nice. Uh, Definitely makes sense. My spelling though, while my kids talk about me, yeah, it's cool. That's cool. It would be your kids. It would be your own kids to cook you. I'm telling you, it would be them. I did max out the GameStop ETB pre-orders for 100. Took 4. They closed pre-orders Saturday, reopened Sunday where I am. If they end below 99, I'd have a blast ripping them with the kids. I mean, that's the thing though, right? We don't even know where those prices are going to end up. So think about this. What if, GameStop had to lower their prices because Nintendo got involved? So Nintendo forced them, or Pokemon, whoever you want to say did it. Somebody higher up forced them to lower their prices. What about everywhere else? If people are seeing that people are willing to pre-order for 100 and then pre-order the UPCs for 400, and they missed out on those pre-orders, when there aren't any pre-orders left, what are those listings going to look like? And that's the part that really concerns me. It's not that the ETBs are 100, because if they were just $100, you know, that'd be a different story. But this is pre-release $100. What are they going to be when they finally do release? That's really what concerns me. I feel Temporal Forces is going to get big. What do you feel? Thank you. I mean, I've always been somebody who talked pretty well, I would say, about Temporal Forces. I've always appreciated the cards in there. I think the sets are really deep. I think that anybody who likes the legendary dogs can appreciate those different versions, those like alternate versions of them. Whether I forgot what are they, fusion? I mean, sorry, fusion, future, or I forgot what the other name is. It's future and something else. But the point is, for me, like if Raikou, Suicune, and Entei were like my favorite Pokemon, I would love those alternate versions. I would not be upset about that design. I would just think that it's cool that they actually made something different and made them look different and just a different look to them. I think that's how I'd see it, at least if it's me. But not everybody feels the same. Some people feel like they don't look anything like Raikou or Suicune. But then if that's the case, then I guess you're gonna have to write off a lot of people. You're gonna have, I mean, a lot of Pokemon. You're gonna have to start writing off Roaring Moon. You're gonna have to start writing off Iron Valiant, and then just all of these Pokemon that have different looks, right? I mean, why aren't we complaining about, Hisuian Growlithe or Alolan Meowth, or like, but people like to pick and choose. I think Temporal Forces is going to do well. I like the set. Like I said, it's one of the deepest sets, by the way, as well, in Scarlet and Violet, believe it or not. I think the set with the most illustrations might be Paldea Evolved. It's between Paldea Evolved and Paradox Rift. And I think either Temporal Forces is a close second or third with the amount of illustration rares. So I think there's a lot of underrated cards in there for people to be looking at. Just did a trade and got the Destin Rivals booster box. Cost me $573 Canadian all in. Contemplating a booster box of Fusion at $13.15 Canadian all in, or Lost Origin $10.50, or just go for Phantasmal at $600 Canadian. What do you think? Wow, holy crap, that's a big question. It all depends on what your goals are and how fast you are expecting things to appreciate, or how long are you expecting to hold. A lot of those boxes you just mentioned, the higher up ones, like the more valuable ones, like Fusion Strike and Lost Origin, they're going to take a little time to rise in value. They're just that much more expensive. So the same way how I was saying, right, the way that we determine a market price is by people buying these listings. Now, the way that we would have to rise in market value would be people buying more expensive listings. Like as we start to run out of product, let's say on TCG Player, and we don't have that many more available at a certain price point, and all that's left is something that's maybe 10% higher or more expensive, and when people finally start buying, then you'll start rising. You'll see the rise in value. You'll see it appreciate. But until then, that won't happen. And more often than not, people are going to try to find those more affordable plays, making something like Fusion Strike and Lost Origin that much harder to rise in value, right? It'll just take a little longer because of that. But those are all great sets in reality. Now, if you're in comparison with Phantasmal Flames, every other box you mentioned is are they're much deeper. Every single set is a lot deeper. But the one thing about Phantasmal Flames is that the one card in there that's holding it up is Charizard, which is probably the most investable Pokemon. I remember seeing a post. Let me see if I can pull this thing up. I don't know where he got this information from exactly, but just real quick, um, let me find this guy. I like watching this guy. He's funny. But this post was funny as well. Um, I don't know if you guys can hear like the volume coming out through the computer or not, but it was funny. I don't know how to make it work. I still don't know how to make it work with StreamYard. For some reason, whenever I show a video, it won't play the sound. So I doubt you're gonna hear it. But this is the guy. It's his name is Kohler Collector. And so right here, it said he said, "What should I collect?" And it's showing like the top investment or something like that, top Pokemon. And he's over here saying, "What should I collect?" He says, "I'll tell you what, it ain't Stunfisk." Look, he's showing you this list. It's pretty funny. Like his personality is great. He's a really funny guy. But looking at like Charizard at the top, the amount of money that's being pumped in. See, by eBay sales. This is ranked by eBay sales with Charizard at 74 million, right? So something like that is something that can really hold up a set. So if there's any set, for example, that has any of these Pokemon as the top chase, you can assume that it's going to do well. So right, if the Rayquaza set comes out and all it has is the Rayquaza SIR as a good card, it's probably still going to do well. Same thing goes for every single one of these Pokemon here. So just something to keep in mind. Phantasmal Flames still will perform. It is the more affordable box. With you buying one Fusion Strike box, you could buy two Phantasmal. And those more affordable boxes will rise in value faster than Fusion Strike or Lost Origin, most likely, theoretically speaking, because we cancel the future. But you have a higher chance of those more affordable boxes rising in value faster than than the than the um than the more valuable boxes like Fusion Strike or Lost Origin. They'll take a little longer, but the good thing about them is that they're going to hold value. There's no reprints in those older boxes. They're not going to fluctuate like Phantasmal Flames might. Like if we get a good Phantasmal Flames reprint, like that box price is going to drop. You know what I mean? But that's never going to happen with Lost Origin or Fusion Strike because we're not getting any reprints. So that's something to consider. That's why that question is like a really difficult question to answer, to be like specific. It all depends. A lot of it depends on what you have. Um, and are you willing to accept the fact that Phantasmal Flames may drop in value if we get a reprint? If that is a problem, then I would stick with the other boxes that have already been around for some time. They're much more secure, but they're going to rise in value a lot slower than Phantasmal Flames. And also, they're double the price of Phantasmal Flames. So, a few things to consider there. I really hope that helps. I wouldn't want to say, something like Phantasmal Flames without actually explaining why I think it'll go a certain way, or at least the things that I believe you should consider before just diving into something like that, because it is your money. You know what I'm saying? And I know that you want to make the right choice with it. So I really hope that helps. In life, we can't collect everything, and that's just fine. The 30th is a pass for me at high prices. Learn to be okay. Yeah, I've said that so many times. If these prices don't become a little more affordable, or if I can't find some kind of an opportunity, then I'm gonna have to leave it alone. Those singles, if I want them, which I will want them to grade, I'm pretty sure I can pick up the singles, right? Um, it's gonna suck, like anything else, when you're forced or you feel like you're forced to just pass on something, but it is what it is. Sometimes I think you have to make these choices, depending on your situation or where you think it's better for you. Eh, you know, just like when it comes to like even investing into this stuff, you want to be smart, right? So you want to try to practice with like good fundamentals. And that tells you that you don't really want to buy in with all that priced into it like that. Like that's difficult for me. A lot of that growth that you should have had, it's already going to be priced in. These UPCs at MSRP, I believe, are $140 or 120, something somewhere around that range. 120 to 140 is MSRP for the UPCs. I saw that somewhere else. I can't remember where I saw it exactly, but it's supposed to be 140. And we're talking about pre-ordering it for $400. So if you were to at least acquire it for 200, you have that room to grow to 400. At 400, you've already paid that in. Like that growth is already priced in there, which really sucks. So that's my only thing, and that's why I'm willing to pass. I'll wait. If there's an opportunity, like I said, then yeah, I'll take advantage. But up until then, it is what it is. Making any play on pitch black sounds like folks are already focused on the 30th and Rayquaza set. So for me, I'm trying to set a goal for myself where I want to get a booster box case for each set, and that's it. And just set it and forget it. So I already have a pre-ordered pitch black case. I did pre-order a Chaos Rising case, which I have. I have a Destined Rivals case that I was able to get from that UK reprint, which was great. So I'm trying to move forward, continuing to get a case of each set. I did miss out on the Ascended Heroes case early on when they were a lot more inexpensive, but I was going through, a loss in the family. So I really wasn't focused on Pokemon. So sadly, it just wasn't the time, and it's fine. But moving forward, when the Rayquaza set comes out, I would like a booster box case of that as well. If, in a perfect world, I would love a case of the 30th ETBs, which doesn't look like it's going to happen. But it is what it is. But for me, like, I just want a case at a reasonable price, and I got the case for like 1,300 pre-release, like before all this stuff happened, and now I think cases are like 1,600, I believe. So I don't know. But for me, that's what I did. I don't really want to focus too much on what's happening this very second. I'm trying to look down the line, right? Because as much as a lot of us want to complain about a booster box releasing at 220 or 230, yeah, it sucks, but I really am not too worried about what's happening right now. If I can get a booster box case where each booster box is about $200, I am looking about what's going to happen like 4 years down the line. Regardless of reprints, eventually it's out of print. It becomes more scarce, even though it's not scarce necessarily speaking, but it will become more scarce as time goes down, as time moves on, and people are ripping through products. It'll become more valuable. That's all I'm concerned with. Just take a booster box case and I'm putting it away, and that's it. That's the goal for me, and I'm just going to keep trying to do that over and over again, and not do anything too crazy. I do want to buy, depending on the set, depending on the hype, I will want to buy during pre-orders, because when you don't and you wait too long, the boxes start to rise. For a lot of these boxes, if you look back at the charts of the values of these boxes, a lot of them are cheapest right at release or just a little bit before, where you could pre-order and maybe the leaks haven't come out yet. Like, you could wait for the Rayquaza set, see what the value is like. I haven't seen any pre-orders for it yet. So I mean, it's a good way away from us right now. But when the time comes, I'll look at the value. And when it leaks, especially with this Japanese, this one's going to be different. We're going to get this Japanese set way before we get the English. So we're supposed to be getting the Japanese set at the end of this month. But I believe we're getting the English set in November. So you're going to have a lot of time to see what's going to be in this set. And I don't think it's going to do so well for the prices of that booster box, because the Rayquaza set is going to push that box up early. So it's going to be tough, man. This is not this back half of the year is not going to be easy. Holding forever, leaving to my kids. All right, no problem, man. I hope that helps. I really do. Love the content, man. Everyone hit that like. Yeah, hit the like, man. Thank you, Collex. I appreciate it, man. Definitely hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I just vended my first show. Nice. I just read that first sentence, and not even the sentence. I'm already excited because I'm really looking into vending. I've been picking. Like I said, I went to Collecticon today, and I've been picking their brains like left and right about sourcing, about just progress, success, and different things like that. And they've all, I met so many like good people today, like kind people that were not afraid to tell me like what you would call like the sauce information to succeed, and a lot of them were convincing me or pushing me towards doing it. Like, it's not like anybody said, do it they were like, no, do it. Do it. I'm telling you, do it. You're going to be happy. You're not going to regret it. We're all doing really well right now, and it's a lot of fun. There's a guy that recently, another guy I spoke to today, had recently went full time into vending, and he says most of the time I don't even feel like I'm at work. Like, I'm like having fun with my friends. Like, that feeling is insane. So I just vended my first show for fun today, had everything marked at 90% sealed. Didn't see very much move, just letting everyone know. Well, See, this is where the experience for everybody, depending on where you are, is going to be very different. So, like, I did try to buy some sealed today, and they did not want to work with me. And I'm not even talking about 90%. I think I wanted to buy a Brilliant Stars booster box because I don't have one, so I wanted to just get one. And they weren't even going off market price; they were going off last sold. I think the market right now. Let me just look it up without trying to guess. Right? Um, oh no, Brilliant's on the second page now. I should have just searched up Brilliant. It's fine. So they weren't even giving me market. They were trying to give me last solds, which last solds were 640. Market is 630. And I was trying to use the market slow down, if you want to call it, as a way to try to get myself a deal, and they did not want to go below 640. So everybody's situation is going to be different. You know, I did try, and I was okay with them saying no because that's the worst thing they could say. And for me, if I can't get myself a deal for something like this that I could find almost anywhere, and I'm just saying because on the internet I could find it on eBay, I could find it on here. If I can't find myself a deal, then for me I could just pass for now. Um, so for everybody's different. Maybe you could let us know exactly where you are and what you had available for people. Were they more in demand sets? Were they, some of the weaker ones? Just let us know because that clearly matters as well. I actually have a customer who collects Stunfisk. Oh my goodness. Pray for him, please. Thoughts on how easy it would be to offload Pitch Black on release? I want to offload 2 booster blocks and 2 PC. Oh, you want them from the Pokemon Center. I mean, right now we're sitting at 250. Um, and we're what, a week, less than a week away from release, right? It releases on Friday. So depending on the price you set it at, you shouldn't have a problem, especially with a new set that people aren't going to have available to them, right? If you take 10% off, if you list them at 90, if you put them on Facebook for 90%, I think you shouldn't have a hard time moving it, to be honest. Best Buy has them at 180. Yes, if you can grab them at 180, if they, I've tried to sign myself up for some of those things, and I never get an email for it at all. I grabbed 4 of the UPCs from GameStop. It comes out to about $10 a pack, 29 packs for $290 plus the value of the extras, which isn't ideal, but isn't terrible. I mean, the fact that MSRP is 140 makes it feel terrible, regardless of the amount of packs that are in there. Those packs also have 5 cards in comparison to the average 10. So, I mean, it's up to you, man. It really, really depends on how you feel about it. If you feel confident with that move that you're making, then you know it. That's all that really matters. For me, though, I don't like that they're at 400 at the moment for the UPC. And if it weren't for GameStop releasing these things, these pre-orders at $400, I don't think we'd be seeing $400 off release. I think maybe from people, that have distro, I think maybe we'd be seeing prices at maybe 200 to $250, something maybe 300. I'm being a little more optimistic towards the higher prices out there, right? But I don't think if GameStop had done that, I don't think we'd be seeing those kind of price points, honestly. If Celebration is going to be $37 a pack in 5 years, 30th can do. Yeah, I think so for sure. I agree. It's all about age, and it's all about this stuff becoming scarce because people rip through it. People really rip through it, and that was one of the points that I was trying to get across in my most recent video when I why is this not logged in? When Why is this stuff not logged in? When I'm in the video showing how product is being eaten up for Destined Rivals and Prismatic Evolutions and Ascended Heroes being on the way there, same as Phantasmal Flames, because people keep wanting to chase the Charizard, right? So, oh, I had an update. Okay, that's cool, right? So, like on this site, which I'm like falling in love with, which is TCG Quant. This site was put together by Poke Profit. If you guys know who that is, I'm pretty sure you do. And another, I think somebody else, a partner of his, right? So like looking at a set like this, just comparing to Oh, they updated the site. This is different. This did not pop up like this before. Where's the wow, this is not the same. Now I can't even find the button that I was looking for. Um Pokemon Center, the regular ETB. Okay, so then you go to like down here has like the destruction tracker about how much it's an estimate of how many of the cards got ripped. Where is it? This things have really moved around. I got a grading and destruction, total grades, gem rates. Um, but where is sealed supply destruction? Box on this is an estimate. About 260,000 prismatic evolutions ETBs opened, 10,000 per month. Crazy. So this is just an estimate based on how many cards have been graded. But then again, a lot of people don't grade. And a lot of people clearly pulled cards that were not gradable because there's a 32.7% gem rate. So that means that there was actually more than 260,000 ripped, right? And they continue to get ripped. So just something to keep in mind, that's why I'm looking towards the long term, right? And that's why it's important to bring this kind of stuff up because right now we're in a time where rip and shipping and just people chasing stuff, like the amount of people in the hobby is like at an all-time high. It's pretty crazy. Um, Definitely holding. Um, Rib 2, Hold 2 is my plan for the initial release, but I haven't caved into the 400 yet. Yeah, it's tough. You would do great at being a vendor. Go for it. I love the content as well. Keep it up. Thank you. So I appreciate it. I think I'm gonna have so much fun. I really am looking forward to it. Like I'm really excited. Like I'm in a way, I'm also like nervous. I am a bit of a shy person. Like it took of course, none of you guys are around to see what's happening in the background of like making videos or things like that. But when I started, I would like sweat. Like after my videos, I would have like my armpits would like be full of sweat. My shirt, I'm just naturally like shy, right? So it took a lot for me to work myself up to finally start recording. And I think I'm going to be just as not just as nervous, maybe a little more comfortable now vending, but I think the nerves are going to be there, but good nerves at the end of the day, right? And I think it's going to be really, really fun, to be honest. Mario, what's going on, bro? Happy Sunday to you, man. What's up, man? I just got back. I made it back home at about 7, I think it was. No, 7:30 from Collecticon in New Jersey. I had to make a few stops on the way back, but took a little while to get back. I want to open one, but I think I'll wait to see if I can grab one closer to MSRP. All right. MSRP is 190, not 140. I thought I saw 140 somewhere. I'm pretty sure I saw 140. I'll have to double check. Michigan, I had everything from 151 to Chaos Rising, from ETB to booster boxes, booster bundles. Only sold 6 booster bundles. Were Black Bull and White Flare. Those are highly like in demand. Sold a couple of Series 2 collection boxes. Okay. You had booster boxes from 151 all the way up to that's weird. If that would like I saw booster boxes today, but they were all Sword and Shield. Sorry, and Sun and Moon. So everything was like the most affordable thing there was Astral Radiance, but what I really wanted was Brilliant. And that was the most affordable box there. Everything else was much more expensive. So it just makes it that much harder to buy, right? Oh, there you go. You see, even drunk, this guy, who said this before? This guy here. I'm Jedi. Drunk actually has a store in Canada. So it was from him, I believe. Wholesale cost is $140. It might have been through him that I got the information. I can't remember though. Priz been ripped to oblivion, but the PSA 10s are still rarer than the rest of SV. Priz slabs will outperform everything in the future. I think they're going to do so well. They're already doing well. The Umbreon is at 7K. It's $7,000. Odyssey, what's going on, bro? Great job overcoming your fear, bro. Yeah, it took a lot. It did take a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely not gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like that's not something. I'm not used to being center of spotlight with anything. Like, as a matter of fact, Friday night we went bowling, and like, whenever I did well, like whether it was a strike or I'm not the type to celebrate. Like, I don't want all eyes on me. So it's something I can really, really get used to for me. Some people are like born for that kind of stuff, like, I don't know. I perform. I've always performed well in sports and all that, but I ignore the extra attention, I guess you could say. But yeah, the UPCs at 400, I think, are a little crazy. But yeah, I did go to Collecticon today. It was pretty crazy. If I would have gone yesterday, I guess I would have ran into a lot more people because I know Poke Plumber was there, Poke Rev was there, Cool Train Orion, There was a lot of people there today alone, but like yesterday, Soldier Boy performed. I don't know who. I don't know if Jason Page performed there yesterday. I did hear them talking about it today though, so he could have been there as well. I was told it was hectic yesterday. So I'm kind of happy that I went today because it just makes it easier to move around, easier to speak to vendors and ask. Like some of the cards I picked up today, like this one I didn't have to look hard for, but my brother wanted it, so he doesn't know. Here, oh, Karma's here. So yeah, I know you wanted to see my pickups. I only picked up 4 cards, but these 4 cards were a lot more expensive than the cards that I picked up the last time, and a lot of things didn't really pique my interest. And then the things that did pique my interest, I did not find a gradable copy of. So I want to find cards that are good quality cards. So like the Lugia V is really expensive right now. I did want it, did not find one worth grading. I almost picked up a Leafeon VMAX from Evolving Skies, but it was a little bottom heavy, even though it was a really, really good condition. Um, and there was something else. Actually, some guy's card, he had it in a top loader. There was like a little grain of sand between the top loader and the sleeve. So it wasn't in contact with the card, but it had been there for so long that the grain of sand made an indention through the sleeve and into the card. So I picked it up and looked at the back, and I almost bought the card until I saw it. And then I showed the guy, and he was like, "Oh wow, the piece of sand was still in the top loader." As I was showing him, it was too funny. But so I only picked up 4 cards, and I know Karma, who's in my Discord, wanted to see my pickups. Slabs are sealed, short term, middle term, long term, probably sealed. Yeah, long term, probably sealed. Yeah. Um, but if you do pick up singles, just try to, like, the same way as I just showed this thing on Instagram, right? Like with this guy talking about this, like do your best to stay within. This is the top 40 Pokemon ranked by eBay sales. I should look up this site. Wherever he got this from, I would love to look it up. He didn't link it, but you have the top 8 right here, right? Just try to stay within the most popular Pokemon. And clearly, Pokemon that are popular, people buy into. So just try to do that. And I think you should be fine as long as you're also not buying at all-time highs. That's also a big concern, right? American MSRP should be around 195-ish. Be right back. Oh, that's what I confused. Sorry about that. So it is 190 then. So 190, like he was saying, that I confused it. Sorry about that. So maybe 300 sounds a little better. 400 still sounds like a bit of a reach to me. So, but all right. So one of the cards I picked up today, I don't like the glare on the top loader. So let me just take it off the top loader. Um, it's a really well centered card. My brother doesn't grade. Maybe he will at some point. Maybe it's okay on centering actually, but I know that he's not somebody who's into grading. He just likes to have the cards. So I did get him this Mega Latios from Mega Evolution. He told me a while back that he wanted the card, and I got it for $90. So I remember at some point this card was like $140. I think it was a decent price point to buy it at. So and it's a really nice card. I like it as well, but I decided to pick it up for him instead. I almost picked up the Mewtwo and Mew promo, um, but it wasn't in the condition that I wanted it to be in. And I really, really want to pick it up soon. I was told that the PSA 10 value jumped from 1,000 to 2,000. Now, this card I picked up. I normally don't pick up trainer cards, but if there was a trainer card that I feel like had potential, it'd be this one. Come on, focus. This thing is. What's going on? This thing usually doesn't have that much trouble focusing on cards. Okay. The Clive. Here we go. You got the Sylveon in the back. You got the Charcadet, which will be popular eventually. You have the Psyduck on the bottom. Lechonk. Like a lot of beautiful Pokemon in there. Right. So I think this card is just a cute card that I think will age well. But even if it doesn't really matter that much to me. I just like it. One card that I did finally pick up for myself that I've been wanting, and I should have picked it up before instead of waiting around. This one was $200 because it had a sudden spike in the last few weeks. It got bought out like a week ago. The Latias from Searching Spikes. This card is beautiful. This Latias I love. So I wish I would have bought it before when it was at like 120, 140, 160 even. But this is such a beautiful card. It's so well centered. I was like, you know what? I'll take it for the 200. I'm not going to continue waiting for it to rise. And the rest of the year doesn't look like it's going to calm down anytime soon. So I bought that one for 200, and then I bought this one for my fiance. We've been now we well, I visited like I don't know how many vendors today looking for this card. Maybe like 15 to 20 vendors trying to find this one card. We saw it in Japanese. My girl does not like cards in Japanese. She likes them in English. This one was 265. I love this card. This is a beautiful card. Yo, this is such a beautiful card. And it's so well centered. That's another thing. She doesn't want cards that are not well centered. She's she's so funny. My fiance does not want any cards that are not well centered. This is such a beautiful card. I think I don't know for how long she's been wanting this card. It's got to be close to 2 years now. This is such a beautiful, like even I like this card, to be honest. They're all babies, right? It's such a beautiful card. I love this card. Um, just bought a sleeping Pikachu from Crown Zenith for 25 bucks 5 minutes ago. Really? Isn't it a lot more expensive than that right now? I remember buying 200 Clive for $1. That is insane. Beautiful card. Yeah, I love that card. I love the Latios. I love all of these that I just bought, to be honest. Even though I got this card from my brother, I do like that Latios, that Latias, the Mega Latias, and I do like the Latias from Sergius. Like, I like these cards a lot. Rev, what's going on, bro? Good evening to you too, brother. What are you doing? What are you doing today? You having a good time? And then I know there were people talking about well, Jess, you've been going heavy on yes. I have been picking up a decent amount of Latios and Latias. I do believe that these specific Pokemon are like really popular. So, like I said, I stick to the popular Pokemon. And maybe Latios and Latias aren't within the top 10 of popularity, but they're pretty damn popular. People like them a lot. Just like Rayquaza. He might not be number one, but on that list, for example, he's number 8. But if you look at like a list of popularity, he's not even within the top 10. But people are dumping money into these Pokemon. And Latios and Latias, I think, age really well, or will continue to age really well, especially after the Lovebird card. Um, so I really, really try to stick to popular Pokemon. Like I really do. Rarely will I pick up a card like this just because it's cheap, right? It's a cheap cute card. Cute cards also are play a factor in a lot of things. So if there's a cheap, affordable cute card that I don't absolutely love, I'll pick up, right? And in the Discord, I did show these that just came in the other day. These are Sun and Moon promos, which I like. I got both. Got all these Latios. The Latias is much harder to find in good condition. Um, then I like went ahead and picked up a bunch of these Pikachu promos from Costco, or the reverse Cosmo foil from the Costco tins, right? So I picked these up for the Pikachu ones, and just picking up random things, right? Like I said something about XY cards. I've been picking up some XY cards. Um, Once again, sticking to popular Pokemon, even if it is Japanese. I would buy a Gengar at a good price, no problem. I brought 2 of these metal Mews, even though they're not like grade worthy, they're not like really well centered, but they're still cards that, as we can see from the past, the metal cards age well, right? XY again, another popular Pokemon with Giovanni. I think this card is beautiful. I think it's going to age well. Um, and this was just like a random piece to the Southern Islands cards, since I already got one for my fiance. She liked the Togepi, so I got her that one. And yeah, the other metal Mew. But there's a lot of cards that have been coming in. There's still more cards on the way. I have a decent amount of XY cards that are still going to be coming in. So whenever that comes around, I'll show that in the Discord and stuff like that. If you guys are in there, you'll see it. But just once again, just I tend to really, really stick to popular Pokemon. Um, a lot of those XY things I have been picking up so that I could have them to vend. I want to have a variety of cards, not just like the super, super modern. If I could get some vintage at a good price, I will. All with due time. But I try to stick to the popular Pokemon things that I think are going to age well. I'm not going to be picking up some random cards that people barely talk about, like Pokemon that they don't talk about. Yeah, it's 58 bucks right now. That's crazy. I can't believe you bought. I mean, I bought this Clive at $31. So maybe I let me see that. I don't know. It's near mint. Clive. Maybe they didn't notice. I didn't even look it up. No, it's $31. It's 31. What is 58? SPCs are a better buy right now than the 30th. I mean, I loaded up on those already. I have 2 cases plus the one that I have on display at all times right here. And of course I did rip one because this thing is out, right? The little deck box. Um, but yeah, I think that they're great, to be honest. I got the 2 cases. I'm good with that for now, unless another good opportunity comes up. But yeah, I think without knowing right now where the market's going to be at with the 30th, it's really hard to determine how good of a buy the UPCs are right now, since all we know right now is that GameStop has them for $400. That's all we know. So the Mew and Mewtwo promo you were saying is from the 151 UPC. Mew and Mewtwo. No. The Mew and Mewtwo card that I was talking about is this one. It's the tag team promo. It is the tag team promo. It's this one right here. This card. Beautiful card. So my brother wants this card, but so do I. That's the problem. Like you're telling me I gotta buy 2 of these? These things are like 200 and something dollars each, like $300. They're at a PSA 10, they're 1906. Look at the jump. Look at that jump. They were at 1,000. Dipped back down below 1,000 to 745 at the low. We're now at 2,000. We definitely got sales at 2,000, right? 1995 was most recent. Yesterday, 1,800, 1,850, 2,200, 2,075. These are all eBay sales, by the way. 2,000, 2,500. Like, that's nuts. You see what I'm saying? Like, this card, like, I mean, it's such a nice card too, right? Like, it really is. I'd love to have this card in my collection. I mean, my brother also wants the card. Just makes it hard to buy when you want to buy 2. You know what I'm saying? So this is the card. It wasn't from that 151 UPC or nothing like that. Just resting from a day of church. All right, take it easy. It's a good day for that. Sundays are always a great day for rest. The voices in my head are saying Horde Chinese sealed. These Gengar boxes are no brainer. I think that they're going to do well. Those, I think. I mean, it's Gengar. That's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Once again, just picking up on popular Pokemon and, knowing that they're investable because they're the most popular. Yeah, I think Gengar boxes probably will do well. I was going to pick up some at the show. They had single packs of the 151 surprise boxes, which is the box that has the Pikachu with the Gengar in the background. They had like single packs of them, but they didn't have the boxes, so I didn't buy any of those. I considered buying some Gem 3 boxes, but I walked past it. They had them for like $110. The Gem 3. They've risen in value clearly. Q cards to the moon. Yeah, I think Q cards have always performed well, right? So why try to, change things now? 1 second, guys. Let me do something real quick. Okay. All right. All right. Just need the big 3 for my Surging Master set. Probably should just get them now or very soon, right? I mean, that's why I bought the Latias. I don't know, man. I don't know if that card's gonna drop in value, but it clearly had a little bit of a buyout a few days ago. Go to Surging. Let's see real quick. So this card, if you remember correctly, this thing was $160, I think. You see, like I had this spot right here where there were a few of them bought 17 from ranging from 176 to 196. But before that, we were over here. That's the number I was looking for. This is the number I was looking for. Not this one or this one. Right. And look, 23 were bought in 1 day. Oh, no, sorry, in the span of 3 days. Sorry, I was in a 3-month chart. This is what I was looking for. 21 bought on this 1 day. Were people trying to raise the value of this card? Possibly. People manipulate this market so much. It's not even like if you look at the sales, you're seeing here that there were cards bought at 220. Clearly, we have some listed at 190. But some people, they'll do it. See, 220, 214, 210, 214. Like, why? Why? When cards were clearly selling at 190, right? 190 or maybe even a little below. We saw some sales at 176, right? So it did have a little bit of a pump. It's now at $200. Let's see the other ones. I did see this card. I considered picking this card up, but I didn't look into it too much. I didn't even really pick one up. I didn't even touch one, to be honest. But yeah, they're moving. I mean, look, there was a few people buying on this day, right? And it's still dropping in value. This one right here looks more like a pickup than the others. The fact that it has been dropping in value after this high, that in reality, the way things are moving right now, I think it'll start rising again. So this card in particular, the Milotic, I think it's a time to pick it up now. If you're picking up the big three in surging, I think it's a good time to pick that one up. What is the Pikachu doing? Oh, and then this one, yeah, the same for this one, in my opinion. Had a high of 384 down to 360. Yeah, the way the market's moving, it looks like everything in recent times is having like a high and then it has a low, even though this is not necessarily a low, but everything is having a high, a low, and then taking off again. A lot of cards are moving. Like, yes, some cards are pulling back, but then the way that they just jump back up is insane. The same way how we saw with the Latias, even though it did get pumped a little bit, right? But a lot of cards are doing that. It's pretty crazy. Like, the more and more I look as days pass, a lot of these singles are getting more and more valuable, which is pretty crazy. But like, one of the things that I did want to touch up on today was, like, I know Alexa, for example, said that she was vending. I did want to touch up on some of the sealed because of the prices that we're getting now. Check out Legendary Connection, RC2 Lanios and Lanias if you like a little. Yeah, Legendary Collection cards are pricey. Let's see. Are these the ones you're talking about? Are these them? No, I don't think so. Those have to be them. Right? These are the cards you're talking about. Are these the ones you're talking about? These two? I think I just picked this one up in English. XY. XY promo, I think it is. I think these are the two you're talking about. These two are actually really, really nice. I'm pretty sure I picked up a Latias. Yeah, this card right here. This card is on the way. The promo. Is that the card you were talking about? It looks like that's the one you're talking about. Let me know if that's it or not. You got the Latios from eBay because damn, they're hard to find near me. Yeah, these? Yeah, I did. They are hard to find. The Latias is even harder to find. Even harder. Jay, what are your grading plays now that the base submissions are down? Do you use PSA only or others like CGC, Beckett? And would you? No. I'm PGC, no. PCG or whatever. For me, it's a no. I just don't believe in the company. So, like for example, great example. Today at Collecticon, right? We already know PSA is the top dog. It's the most liquid slab out there. Someone approached a vendor right next to me and he said, "Hey, are you guys buying slabs?" And they said, "Yes, of course." And he was like, "Okay, but are you buying higher end slabs of companies other than PSA like CGC or Beckett?" The vendor's face completely changed. He like no longer wanted to work out the deal. It was like, damn, you really approached me with this right now. And so if this vendor was having an issue buying CGC or Beckett slabs, right? We all know CGC and Beckett are well-known companies. They're well-established, and vendors don't want them. For the most part, they don't. I know in some cases, yeah, you will see CGC, you will see Beckett, but a lot of people, for some reason, don't want those slabs. They want PSA. And so now you're considering diving into the other companies that you see none of. Like I didn't see a single CGC slab. I didn't see a Ace grading slab today. I didn't see for sure not a PCG slab, right? I mean, how do you justify grading with PCG if eventually you want to move the card, trade the card, but then you can't? It's not liquid whatsoever. People don't want it. They're not going to give you full market value, nowhere close to like PSA value with PCG. That's my only thing. I have seen a lot of content creators, you know, kind of jumping on the trend to basically take the opportunity to work with Rudy. That's what I see that as. The people that I see using affiliate links and pushing PCG, I think really honestly, I'm not saying that they're bad people, but I just think that they just want to work with Rudy because how could somebody push that company when you're not going to be able to get your value out of it, right? Everybody's grading. So people grade for two reasons, right? One, for their personal collection, which at that point, it doesn't even matter who you grade with, right? You just pick the slab you like the most. And two, because you want to liquidate the slab. You want to liquidate it. You want it to hold value. You know, it's just those two. And so now, of course, if it's for your collection, you use whatever you want. But if it's something you really, really want to liquidate and you want it to make it easy to trade and just get cash for it, it's hands down PSA. Hands down. Now, has PSA been the greatest to us? No. Do they charge you? Do they upcharge you? Yes. Backlog is insane. They've had shady things going on, but it doesn't change that they're the most liquid slab on the market. Now, is that going to change? Probably not. I highly doubt that's going to change. So, for that reason, and probably many others, I would not grade with PCG. You know, I saw a slab today. Somebody sent a picture of a PCG pristine 10. And it said the subgrade. Let me see if I can get it from my Discord because I sent the picture and I got it from somebody else's Discord. But it doesn't really matter where it came from. What matters is that it exists. Right. So I'll show you guys the card right here. So look at this. Look at this card. It says it shows you the subgrades here. Surface 9.5, edges 10, corners 10, and the big one for me right now is centering 10. If you look at CGC Pristine, like their standards, you have to have a 50 out of 50 centering. If you look at Black Label's Pristine, which is their 10, their Black Label, you have to have 50 out of 50 for the Pristine. How is it that the centering is 10 out of 10, but the silver border is clearly bigger than this border? And I'll tell you what, when the border has a discrepancy like this in a picture, it usually looks even bigger in person. So I don't see how that has a 10 out of 10. And even this bottom border is thicker than the top one. Not as much as this one to this one, but still, how is this a 10 out of 10 centering? I can't. So for me, even just seeing this alone, I'm not trusting, you know, the way that they're grading, you know, especially for me to put my money into it. So, you know, I don't see it. I don't see the company. I don't know. I don't believe in them as of right now. They'd have to prove me wrong. I would also have to see people putting their higher end cards in their slabs, right? Because that really shows how you believe in this company. So, for example, my last stream, um, DJ Poke Center came in here and he said that he just wants to support somebody that he's been watching for years and stuff like that. And I said, okay, that's great. But my question to you now is, did you send a high-end card? What did you send to get graded? And he said, no, it was just a cheap Charizard promo or a few other like low-end cards, basically, is what he said from what he said last time. Nothing high-end. So in reality, to me, there's no real belief in that company without people actually putting their real money into it. And it doesn't mean to grade. It means the value of the card as well. Because if you're trying to liquidate this card, but you believe in the company, you would grade there, right? You know, a lot of us, you know, including myself, don't necessarily believe in tag. There's a lot of flaws within tag, within the structure of the slabs. It's a crack CZ with with the way that they grade, and they've had several instances where people keep regrading and they don't give back the same grades. That means that their AI system, like they claim to be, is so good, is not as good as they actually say it is. So it makes me doubt them, right? But a lot of people are putting their high end cards in tag, just like they do in CGC and Beckett. But we're not seeing that with PCG. We're not seeing high end cards go into that company yet. So for many reasons, I would never grade with PCG as of right now, right? For me, I'm not going to grade with, just to get to the point, I'm not going to grade with PSA until they open up their value bulk. Now, when the time comes, I'm going to have several submissions to go there. I'm patient, you know. I don't force things. That's not in my nature. I don't force things. I let things do what they do. I'm not going to pay into that $80 submission fee for that higher whatever level it is for PSA, you know. So I'll wait. Sleepy Pika is from Lost Origins, not Crown. You're right. You're right. You're right. The Crown Zenith one is the one with the leaf, and the Sleeping Pika with the girl is Lost Origin. You're 100% right. But he mentioned buying it for like $25. He said, "My son and I locked in on 8 celebration ETBs. 800 will be well spent. We will both rip one and hold the others." Yeah, I think that the best value out of all of those are the ETBs at $100. And I said it in the Discord. I think that those are the best value buys, just because we're seeing so many ETBs sell for $100, right? Pokebonks, what's going on, bro? What's up? Uh, rip rip them all, buy more when they're 50. Oh my god. Yeah, we'll be waiting for a while. They will never be 50 years on celebrations. Yeah. People said it about the 25th too, and not my first rodeo. I mean, I think right now things are a tad bit different. The way that they're releasing right now, like I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, right? I do believe that after we move forward and these times, settle down, I think we will see a bit of a pullback on the celebrations ETBs. And it also depends on how much Pokemon produces, right? If Pokemon produces a lot and we do have some kind of a downturn, we're definitely going to see better prices. And I really am hoping for that. Just Generations packs used to be $1, not even joking. The hobby has at least 20x since the 25th. It isn't the same market, but you never know what's going to happen, right? With this printing facility, from what I read, so if we remember, there is that 1.2 million square foot facility that Pokemon is building, correct? Now, there was a decent sized portion of the facility that was already an existing facility, and that is supposed to be ready and up and running in Q3 of 2026. So, sometime within Q3, which we're already in, that 400 square foot section, which is a whole third of that facility, should be up and running. And I think they're expecting like a 25% increase in production from what I read. So, will that be the case? We don't exactly know, but it's possible. If they do start printing, I really hope to do print this to the ground. Not because I don't want it to gain value. I just wanted to be able to have better opportunities. This is what we need. The entry point is so important when it comes to buying into all this stuff and investing into Pokemon. The entry point is so important. So I would prefer a much lower entry point to hold for the next who knows how many years, right? These anniversary sets don't typically take off until we get to that next anniversary. So I'd rather a really low entry point now to then ride out for the next 5 years. That's what it's going to take, right? So I really hope that they do print it to the ground. I still think it's going to tank. Nobody will want it when Rayquaza comes out. Possibly. I don't think it's going to tank right then and there. I think we would really have to see a downturn because people are not going to want to sell and just let the value drop that quickly. But I do expect for it to start dropping towards the end of the year, right? A few months after the release, maybe 3 months after the release. I'm looking to see somewhat of a pullback with all these celebration products. Can't wait to grade them. Yeah, for sure. So celebrations will continue to be ripped through the Rayquaza set because rip and shippers will go through it like butter. Yeah, they are. They are. Hopefully there is some kind of a pullback. Yeah, the Destin Rebels booster box just sure went down. Yeah, that was the reason of the thumbnail today. That was the idea for the stream. But the conversations and this is what happens every stream, right? At least me, like I try to I have something that I do want to talk about when I start a stream. Um, and today, what I really wanted to talk about was the sealed items. Is it time to be really buying? Because I made a video about this, but like, how much lower do we think these prices are going to go? That's really where I'm at right now. How much lower do we think they're going to go? Do we think they're going to get more affordable? Do we think opportunities are going to continue to climb? You know, that's something that I wanted to talk about. Not only Destined Rivals, but also Prismatic, right? Prismatic, Ascended Heroes. Um, but like the booster box is now at 555. It was at 642. Like I said in the other video, like it dropped a ton. So in the span of 3 months, they did sell 330 boxes. We do also have to include that we had that Mayhem event. A few boxes were sold there, 33 of them to be exact, 54 on this day in May, which pumped them up to 650. But after that, there weren't really that many sales, but buy volume is starting to increase within the past few weeks. June 28th, 29th specifically till now, we're starting to see people starting to buy again. So will the boxes continue to drop? I don't know. The listings don't look like they're any lower than where they are, right? We have one here at 546. And then after that, we've got 550 with a crease, and then 555 and onward, right? So unless people stop buying right now because they've started to buy again, we won't see lower prices. And that's something to be thinking about. And that's why I wanted to bring this up. I'm glad you brought it up. You put us back on track to where I wanted to be, even though you know what it is, there's so much to talk about. So much going on in the market. Like there's something to talk about everywhere, whether it be, the XY full arts that I'm picking up, those are moving. We're seeing vintage continue to move. Um, there's a lot happening. So Destined, it's at a spot right now where I don't really know if it's going to get more affordable than that right now. Um, I don't know. It's very possible that it doesn't. The way since I'm seeing buy volume pick up, and that's the thing. I said it in my last video. If the market continues to be patient, and that means that they don't buy, if they continue to be patient and they do not buy, we will have more affordable listings and the sellers will continue to undercut each other. If that does not happen and people start buying, which we're seeing happen on TCG Player, that market price will not drop. So it makes it tough. It makes it real tough. You can't control the overall market. But people sometimes they lack patience and they see Destined Rivals drop down to 550 when it was once at 600 or 650, and they start just insta buying. They can't wait. And then Prismatic got that pump to 200, right? And now we're at $173. And once again, it looks like we're starting to plateau in this 170 range. So what do? Do you wait a little longer? Do you wait to see if it's going to drop a little further? I think this might be where we sit. I really do. We're seeing the listings, even these here with a tear. We're at 169 with a tear, guys. Another tear, 169. So your minimum is going to be 170 for the boxes that don't have any damage. 172 is where we're at, actually. So I think we're going to start to plateau right here at 172 for Prismatic. I think it's something like we really have to pay attention to what's being listed, how the market starts to move, when did they start to buy. So we'll see. Prismatic, I think, is still one of the better buys right now since it rotates out in a year. It doesn't have to do anything crazy in a year, but it's still an amazing set. The singles are doing wondrous things. Like the singles are crazy. I had Poke Data here. Let's see where we at with no, sorry, sets. Prismatic. Does it have the whole set value here? I'm not sure. Whole set value $6,018, $1,500 on the Umbreon. Does it have a chart here for the Umbreon alone? It does not, unless you sign up, and I'm not signing up to you. Sorry. But it's been doing really well. Really, really well. Actually, there's another site I like to use. I wonder, some people must think that I'm crazy. I will use a website. I will use one website for the one tool that they have. TCG Players for market price. Collectrix I use for gem rates. TCG Quant is the one site right now that I'm using that has various tools. Poke Data is just total set value. Price charting is graded prices. And then we're here at Poke Wizard where they give us a total set value and they're actually tracking the total set value trend on the chart right here. So last 30 days, 90 days, all time. We're seeing that when it released, it was at 9,000. It dropped all the way down. We had all those reprints last year, right? 4,240, 35. So 4,235 was that low. And then over here, it dipped even below that in the 3,900 range. Now we're back up to that 6,018, 5,999, whatever it is, for the total set value of Prismatic. So Prismatic, to me, the SPCs, the ETBs are just like the opportunity right now for me. I know some people hate Prismatic. But another thing to keep in mind is that so many people came into the hobby at this time, right? So these have pulled back as well from that 330 point. We're now at 293. And of course, once again, man, just buy volume starting to increase a little bit. We're seeing it here, increasing this little area. Even if it's a little bit, it's increasing. Listings are there at $300 basically. So to me, these are some of the better buys. Ascended Heroes has also pulled back from that high. But I guess we hope to get some reprints for Ascended Heroes. I don't really know. And then the other thing was Celebrations ETBs. Are they really the buy now that they're $100? Are they really the thing to buy? It's hard to determine with the Celebrations ones because we don't have actual sales data, right? Aside from pre-orders from GameStop. But Prismatic, man, just thinking about how many people years down the line are going to look back at Prismatic and think about Prismatic. And I still have my Collecticon wristband. I just realized. Think about that, guys. The market started taking off with Searching Sparks. Then Prismatic came around the corner. And the market just caught fire. 2 years, 3 years down the line, how many people are going to keep talking about Prismatic? How much more people are going to keep looking back at Prismatic? How much of a good set it was, value-wise, right? Because trying to rip is a horrible experience. But when it comes to the singles within the set, right? The Umbreon, the Sylveon, the Espeon, how hard they are to pull, how beautiful they actually are. The gem rates are not that great. They're in that 30% gem rate. And that makes the card much more valuable. Just thinking about that, guys, how many people came into the hobby with Prismatic Evolutions that are going to look back and say that was a great set? It's a very valuable set. The cards are hard to pull. They're hard to gem. And looking at the PSA 10 values of these cards, they're absolutely insane. Right. So many things that, like, those are the things that I really, really wanted to touch up on during the stream. But of course, there's been so much been said in the stream. But yeah, Destined Rivals at 550 from what we just saw. I don't know if it's going to drop any lower. I mean, we could be hopeful. We could hope, right? But I really don't know how much further it's going to drop. It's at 550. Sales are starting to rise. We're starting to see buy volume. It might plateau right there, honestly. I mean, I don't care. Keep your ETB sealed for all I care. Selling singles. Oh, you're talking about the Celebrations DPCs. I mean, listen, there is going to be value in ripping those ETBs. I know everybody wants to hold sealed, including myself, but there will also be value in ripping because those cards with this singles market are probably going to take off. Like, they're probably going to take off right from the start. If somebody pulls that Crystal Lugia, it's probably going to be insane right away. It's probably going to be, listen, I'm not even going to, because people are going to think that I'm crazy, but that Crystal Lugia could easily be $1,000 out of that first pack that you pull. Like, it really could be because of what the value is for the original Crystal Lugia. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. That Gengar Prime could be really valuable as well. That Magikarp is probably going to tank the value of the Paldea Magikarp, like the Moltres, the Stamp Moltres did to the regular Moltres from Destined Rivals. I mean, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but there are a lot of nice cards in there. They're going to be worth grading, and they're going to be really, really valuable. So they look way better in Japanese. I don't even know where we're at with this conversation already. I'm sorry, bro. I can't remember exactly what cards we were talking about for that exactly. I decided to buy Gengar SIR from Ascended Heroes at a PSA 10. I think it was a great time to buy in on. I mean, it did pull back. It is really expensive. What's it at right now? Let's see. What is it at? Mega Gengar EX. It was at 4,000. We're at 2,446. Listen, I will say this. It's expensive, but we're not at the all-time high. And that's something that I always try to stay away from. All-time highs for anything I try to stay away from. You caught it on the pullback. I would think you're at a decent spot right now, honestly. And it is Gengar. You know, we spoke about this earlier. Just if you're going to buy singles, stick to the popular Pokemon. If you really want to at least reduce your risk, stay away from the all-time highs and stick to the popular Pokemon. Gengar is by far one of the most popular. So I think you're okay right there, honestly. I've been for weeks going to shows and stores looking for a Kingdra EX in grading quality and cannot find one. I think I have. I was pre-grading. I think I went through my Kingdra. I only have one. I can't remember if it's grade worthy. And I think I remember it being grade worthy, or else I would have bought one today because I saw a few. Maybe I should have bought another one. But what I really was looking for was that Greninja, and they weren't grade worthy. The thing is that it's so hard to find gradable cards that since people are grading, that I end up not picking so much. So, you know, things like for example, these 4 cards that I picked up, right? Even though one of them is intended for my fiance. This was today at Collecticon. So the Togepi GX promo right here is intended for my fiance, right? But it's grade worthy as well. This is like perfect centering. This Latias is for me, perfect centering as well. This Clive as well, whether I grade it or not, it's a different story. It's a trainer card, but I do like it. It is grade worthy. And this one, which is for my brother, seems to be grade worthy as well. So I try to stick to those quality cards, and you know, it makes it hard because a lot of people are grading. Luckily, a lot of the vendors were honest and they did tell me that they graded. So I do appreciate the honesty. So I could just walk past them. They would tell me, listen, you're not going to find anything gradable here. Because I would tell them, listen, I'm looking for something to grade. And they would just tell me straight up. So that was a great thing. It's hard. It is hard right now. Everyone's grading. Everybody wants to turn, you know, make money. Because it's an investor channel. He knows. He's been around for a while. Kevin comes around all the time. He knows. He's just giving his opinion on what he thinks the value of the sealed box is going to be. And I guess maybe he's looking towards the singles inside, but for sure he's been around a lot. He knows. Oh, that was directed to you guys alone. The vendors only care about liquidity. That is a fact. Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. So how could you push the PCG slab? Like, I can't push that slab. I can't grade with it. I can't act like I believe in it if I know for a fact it's not going to be liquid. Who's going to buy that slab from you? We already saw, right? Right now, the tag values are kind of matching PSA 10 values, right? But for a little while, especially after that video came out where the tag slab broke, or a little kid broke it, or he cracked it, guys, you know, it was like a frenzy on eBay. It was tag 10 on sale. It was clearance. It was the clearance slab, and people were buying them and regrading with PSA. So what's going to happen with PCG? Who's going to buy? Let me go right now. I just want to go on eBay and I want to look at PCG. Let's see if that comes up. PCG Pokemon. We have a Bulbasaur listed at 100. Let me just show it to you guys right here at the same time, right? Because we were talking about slabs before and how this slab right here is not going to be liquid because people are not going to want it. So Bulbasaur here, the Squirtle. So still really affordable cards, right? A Pikachu promo. Again, Squirtle promo. It sucks that there are 2 PCG. You know what will help? I just thought about this because that other PCG is in Japan. I'm going to write US only. I'm going to click US only. Maybe that'll get them out of here. That helped a little bit. There's some in the US still, but that helped a little. Okay, so let's see. And this is what I mean. Any high value cards, the Rayquaza has high value now just because of the anniversary set, but the card itself is not a high value card, really. It's not really a high value card. The Xerneas, some of these cards here, Nothing crazy still, nothing really valuable. Let's see what else. The Sleeping Pikachu we were talking about, $175. And what is this at a PSA 10? I mean, that's Japanese, anyways. Let's see what else. Nothing too crazy, guys. You see what I'm saying? Nothing like too valuable here being listed with these slabs. So they're not really grading. This card alone is $120 in English, which is this card. And in a PSA 10, it's only like $300. Believe it or not. This card, actually, I think this card right here. Just a side note, I think this card is incredibly underrated. It is an Umbreon. I don't understand why it's still so cheap. It's $120 raw, but it's like 300 in the 10. I don't understand why it's so cheap. One quick second, guys. One quick second. I'm going to turn off the camera, so give me a second. All right, we're back. So yeah, as we're seeing here, there aren't any valuable cards being graded with these guys. So like, what could make anyone believe that people actually believe in this set? This Entei for $180? What is this Entei in that's the Entei V from Crown. What is the Entei V in a PSA 10? It's 206 in a PSA 10. They listed it for what? 180? It's probably not going to sell. It's probably not going to sell. Honestly, it's all these little promos, right? And then if we go to the sold listings, and we're doing this live, right? I didn't prepare for this whatsoever. It's just the truth. I just know that this is how it's going to be. PSA, and we're looking for PCG, guys. Look what's coming up as sold items. Let's see if we run into one. How long will it take till we run into the first slab in the sold listing section? Here's one for $10. Holy crap. There was one single bid, one singular bid for $10 on a card that's not even a 10. We have this Japanese Gengar for $40 as of today, just because it's so affordable, right? Nothing crazy. Is this their slab? If it is, it sold for $2.25. Guys, in this whole first page, we have 3 sold listings. I mean, that says enough. That says enough, right? I mean, like it's crazy. For personal collection, I just want to slab my old cards and not for resale, for sure, for sure. Sylvester, what's going on, man? What is going on? It's been a while. What's up? Hi, yes, my enemy. Things that I might flip 2 to 4 years, I will only buy, sell PSA. That is true. Yeah, 100%. You don't want to set yourself up for failure. You know, if PCG ever becomes, the 4th most popular grading company, great. Still will not trump PSA. It just won't happen. Do you see today? Did I see tag slabs? Not really. What I saw today was 99.999% PSA. And then, like, I saw one Black Label Mega Charizard EX, which is cool, the Phantasmal Flames Charizard. And then I saw one BGS 10. I forgot what card it was. Outside of that, I didn't see anything else other than PSA. That's it. Ernst says something interesting. People can use that as a quick pre-grade with subs. Yeah, 100%. People are doing that with tag right now. But I don't like the example that I just used earlier. That Slowpoke card that I showed you guys was not a 10 out of 10 in centering. It was not a 10 out of 10 in centering. But even though it wasn't 100%, they probably do analyze the surface, the corners, and all that to pre-grade for PSA. But at the same time, keep in mind, you are spending money per card. You are spending 20-something dollars as you would for the value bulk submission with PSA for these cards. So you're still spending money. I mean, cheap, I don't know about cheap. That is the submission cost, right? PSA was charging $25, were they not? I think PCG was cheaper And I think in his last video or the one before the last video, he mentioned them raising their prices to like 25. So I'm pretty sure. You correct me if I'm wrong. The slab label on PCG looks whack. I don't like the label. The person behind the company is why those CCR. Yeah, I don't like the way they designed it. They need a better design on that metal label, and I think it will be much better. I'm just saying, why even get the 30th now? If you're going to rip it, it will be cheaper later. I think it's possible. Like I said, it really depends on the production. If you know, from like what I said before, this 400,000 square foot facility, that one section of that new facility is supposed to be up and running in Q3 of 2026, which we are in Q3. So at some point, you know, there might be a lot of 30th celebrations production, right? So that really is it. Depends on how much Pokemon really pumps out of that set, which I expect it to be a lot. So I will rip a lot of celebrations, but with botters, ghost chairs, bandits, and all that. Yeah, they're gonna make it tough for sure. You don't have a lot to Rayquaza plays, Jay, and they will go to PSA when lower levels open. Yeah, I'm gonna be patient, man. I'm not somebody who forces things. Like I said before, I will easily continue to buy cards worth grading. I will keep stacking them. I will continue to pre-grade when the time comes up because I have not been pre-grading as of late. I feel like I've been really busy as of late. I don't know why. I just feel like I don't have enough time for things. But when that opens up, I will send submissions to PSA as well. I'm not going to lose my patience at all. PSA is going to buy tag in 2020. PSA is going to buy tag in 2027. I'm calling it. You think they need to? You know, I don't think they need to. I think if they really wanted to, they could just implement AI into their company as well. You know, Beckett had something special with the Black Label because of the value that the cards had with that Black Label, right? I don't see anything special about tag, honestly, about aside than the AI thing, right? Which I think any company can implement if they really wanted to, especially a company like PSA with the amount of money that they have. A ripping hop in the VC right now. Oh my god. Ascended Heroes 5-pack. Oh my gosh. I don't have my stuff set up. I can't find my headphones. I mean, hey, I hope you post something, man. As of late, I haven't had the greatest luck pulling much at all. They have to reprint a lot of the sets. Celebrations will not be printed on the level of Prismatic with the number of reprints. I mean, you know, that's hard to say because throughout the time that they were printing Prismatic, they chose to ignore all the other sets, and I don't know why. Real quick, so yeah, we don't really know what's gonna happen with that. I do hope that they reprint the living hell out of it, but they do have a lot to print. But like I said, just with this 400,000 square foot facility, they're expecting to see a 25 to 30% increase in production. We don't know what that's going to do. We'll have to see, but I do expect that they will print this set a good amount. Reprints bring back people into sets and create new hype for the sets. It doesn't drop the price in the long run or short run much. I mean, in the short run, it actually could drop it a decent amount in the short term. But in the long term, like I said, I don't think there's that much to worry about in the long term, honestly. People will continue to rip sets and you know, they'll just continue to become more and more scarce. And it's funny because we're seeing a lot of these sets get ripped, even at these price points. Like we're thinking about Ascended Heroes packs. Aren't they at like $14 right now per pack? What are Rip and Shipper selling them for? If they're on TCG Player for 14 or 13 something, that means Rip and Shippers are probably selling them for more, and people are still buying them. When they do start to produce more and these prices drop, people are going to find it so much easier to rip these sets. I think they're just going to rip even more. That's what I think. Black Ball and White Flare is one set that needs, yeah, for sure. For sure. Pokemon can tank the price of on anything by 66% anytime they want. I don't know about anytime they want, but if they did focus on something like they did with Prismatic, I think they'll make quite an impact. And like I said, especially with the facility that supposedly is going to be ready in Q3, which we're in, it could make a difference. but there are so many sets that need reprints, right? We're talking about Destined Rivals. We never even got Journey Together reprinted. Black Bull, White Flare, Phantasmal Flames. We did get waves, but we didn't get a reprint. Remember that, guys. All they did was split the supply between waves, right? We still don't have a Mega Evolution reprint, Phantasmal, all of these other sets. I think we did get a Perfect Order and a Chaos Rising reprint. I think we did. But then we have Pitch Black. We're gonna have Celebrations. We're gonna have the Rayquaza set, and then on top of that, they do have to focus on printing those new sets coming out as well, right? So we have Aurora Seeker with the Lucario set. We have that new that team and that mega team something. We don't even know what it's gonna be. Another set. It's just every 2 months they have a new set, so they have to keep up with the new sets and try to keep up with the reprints of the older sets. So it's a lot. I don't know if they can really affect the market that quickly right now. But they can definitely flood the market with something. We'll see. We'll see what it's going to be. Right at every price point, negative on the market. There's a group of people who jump in and feel good to buy. Then it goes back up. Yeah, that's why we spoke about. I don't know if you were. I mean, you must have been here. You were one of the first ones in the stream. We were talking about Distant Rivals. How now it's at 555, and people are starting to buy it again. So, how much lower will it go with people buying? For Destined Rivals booster boxes, we have more sale, but I think a lot of them are from reprint in Europe and shipping them down here. I see a lot of them with printed on Netherlands on the bottom. Well, it still isn't changing that it's affecting the market, right? So if boxes are selling at 550, it's going to establish that low. It's going to start to plateau there because sales are happening at that price point. It doesn't even matter where they're coming from. The fact that they're selling at $555, it means that Destined Rivals is going to start to stagnate at that price point instead of dropping. Unless people just stop buying again, right? It's only been about a week and a half of them starting to buy again. But the fact is that they've started, right? So now you're not going to see people undercut so quickly. People are going to start listing at that price point, and you're going to keep testing the waters. They're going to now want to see if people will continue to buy at that price point. If they don't, then we'll see, prices drop a little more, which is what we want. But it's really going to take the market being patient. And this Pokemon market, functions almost solely on emotions. It's all about nostalgia and all about emotions. And when they see something, they're not looking at it like a business, right? Which in some cases, when you're buying things this expensive, you should, right? And they're just buying by emotion. They're seeing something, they're getting excited. They don't want to miss out. FOMO sets in. They start buying at 550 because it was at 650, and it just starts getting it doesn't allow it to drop in value. That's the real thing. We'll have to see what happens, to be honest. We'll have to see what the market does in the next week. I usually do those market analysis videos on Sundays. I'm really happy that I didn't do one today. I did one last week. I'm glad that I didn't do one today because the market isn't moving enough for it to make that kind of a splash. And I'd rather give it 2 weeks to see what the market does every 2 weeks right now, as opposed to every single week. So I'm glad that I've had something to do like in gaps of 2 weeks. Like I had a card show 2 weeks ago. I had Collecticon today. So we'll do a video on the market next Sunday to see what it does in the next week, just to give it that 2 week gap because it's not moving that much. And so I don't know. I think the market really needs to show some patience, if they want better price points, honestly. And I think, sometimes people don't realize the opportunities that are there and they just emotionally buy. Prismatic gold set for sure. Never bet against evolutions. You're going to lose every time. Yes. And the Japanese market doesn't set trend with this set either. Anything can happen. Yeah, we'll have to see. I want the Gengar Prime. The great thing about Celebrations 30th is that there's a lot of new arts. Yeah, it looks crazy. I did not expect that. But then again, like I said earlier in the stream, it's alarming me a little bit that Poke Beach has not made an article about those cards that were leaked. I really want to wait for that to get cemented with an article from them to make it official before assuming that that's legit. It looks legit, but what if it wasn't? And usually Poke Beach covers that. Like, I don't know. Oh, Unified Mind, what's going on, bro? Welcome. Hey, Joe, I hope you're well. Am I crazy for thinking 151 Sealed has kind of hit its peak and will stay stagnant for a long time? I mean, listen, 151 has appreciated so much. Like what 151 has done in the past 2 years, no other set has done, right? I do expect it to start flattening out at some point, but I don't expect it to flatten out for that long. Um, I don't know. The price points make me think that you're right because, of course, I mean, I know when price points start getting expensive, people buy less of it, which means that it'll be that much harder for it to rise in value. If the market doesn't buy, it won't rise. So it's possible you're right. I don't think they're going to stay flat for too long, but the next year and a half maybe might be a little slow for a 151, maybe 2 years. Well, we'll have to see, but I do see a point there because it's reached a really high price point really quickly. And I've spoken about this before when it comes to 151. We haven't really allowed that set to age for it to be this expensive. It is a great set because of nostalgia, right? But we have not allowed it to age. And that's a problem. Us not allowing it to age, at some point, the market is going to be forced to allow it to age because nobody's going to be able to justify buying at those prices. It's not going to be able to keep just multiplying and increasing in value like it has. So I see a good point there. It's very possible that happens for sure. People who grade with Rudy are just glazing him. I don't know, man. I think that people are just looking for the opportunity to work with him. A lot of people look at Rudy like the guru of Pokemon investing. Um, when I feel like in reality, I feel like if I had the money like he did or he does, I could do the same exact thing. I think most people, if they had that much money available to just dump into Pokemon with no care in the world, I think we could all do the same. You know, just got Dragonair for 35. Dragonair is a beautiful card from 151. I love that card. All right, there you go, my boy Dragonair. I love Dragonair. If you want cheap, there are other less expensive. People do not use because no one wants other slaps. Yeah, for sure. Might is the key word. Pulled the Mega Scrafty, a win just by a chin hair. Yeah, I mean it's a cool card. It's not really valuable, but it is a cool card. I think Scrafty looks pretty cool, actually. I no, let me take that back. I think Mega Scrafty looks pretty cool. One of the few cards that I think look better as a Mega than the regular. The tag investors are huge crypto guys. They would love PSA to buy them. I do not trust tag sales because the pop counts are low and easily manipulated. eBay versus in person and different. What I don't like about tag is that they're trying to stop people. Tag is really just trying to protect their name, right? But I almost feel like there shouldn't be something to protect because they're trying to stop people from regrading with them. So they're trying to do that like fingerprint thing with the cards where you can't regrade. And I think it's because of all those videos that keep regrading and keep getting different grades. So I, I don't know. At the end of the day, what really matters more than anything is that the PSA slabs are just the most liquid. I do like. I've said it before. I really do like the look of the tag slabs. They look beautiful in my opinion. I love the way that they look like just like glass. Like I do like that look. I don't like how fragile they are. It is a thing that we're noticing that they're selling for the value of a PSA 10 slab, which is I said before. So the only problem is that they're not as liquid, right? Like I went to Collecticon today. I didn't see not one tag slab. Not one. EB Games, GameStop in Australia, had so much backlash for doing pre-orders for the 30th for double the price and is now down to slightly above retail. Slightly above retail, that's all. We still have double MSRP, right? The ETBs, we know MSRP is 50. We got them down to 100 through GameStop. I think people said Nintendo stepped in, I believe. Mimic Brew, what's going on, bro? What is going on? I hate crypto and love tag. Yeah, Mimic does love tag. I will say that. But I think, I don't know. As I said before, you look at how people are they putting valuable cards into these companies And Mimic actually puts a lot of his cards into Tag, both Tag and PSA. I did like your last video as well, by the way, with the slabs. But yeah, man, I just can't get past that they're so fragile. One, and two, it's just a you don't really see them anywhere. People are not wanting to buy anything other than PSA. That's the real problem. If we can ever get past that hurdle, then it'll open the door up for many slabs, right? It'll open the door for CGC, more Beckett slabs, more tag slabs, but no one wants it. I don't know why. I mean, Mimic, I know you joined late. As I was saying before, at the show today, there was somebody next to me, offering selling slabs to the vendors there. He said yes, he was buying slabs. And then he said, but are you into high-end CGC and Beckett slabs? And the vendor was instantly disappointed. Like, they don't want anything other than PSA. It's tough. That's the only problem, man. It's really tough. Imagine if Pokemon just did not reprint once an era ended. Oh, that'd be crazy. Brew, let's go. Brew, your tech video was awesome. There you go. I liked it too. It's a buyer's market now. Yeah, right. Temporarily it is. But I will say this. I did try to buy some sealed today at the show. And I think it also made a difference who I was buying from. And if you guys know Rip and Ship Gaming, they're actually from Long Island, New York, but they're well known throughout the Pokemon community. They get a lot of product from Distro. Their store is pretty big. Their website's decent as well. They didn't want to give me any deals whatsoever. It didn't matter how slow it was. They tried to sell me the Brilliant Stars booster box that I wanted with last sold and not market. Marketed was 630, last sold was 640, and there was only one box that sold at 640, and he didn't want to go below 640. So it all depends on who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with somebody locally, I think you have a much better chance to work out a deal as opposed to going to a show, dealing with a lot of these big vendors. Maybe smaller vendors will work better for you. We'll see if I go to another show soon. I don't have any plans to go to another show right now. I have more plans in preparing myself to becoming a vendor right now than to go to a show. So I'll have to see where that goes. But maybe the smaller vendors you have a lot more luck with, or maybe locally. But those big vendors, we're not really budging. And on top of that, before I get to this next comment, yeah, almost every single vendor that spoke about a card kept saying it's only going to go up. So, like, even though we're seeing sealed slow down online on TCG Player and maybe on eBay, in person, there's no lack of confidence throughout that whole venue. You know what I'm saying? Like, at all. I heard it it must have been like 10 times today. It's only going to go up. It's only going to go up. You'll see in my video. I'm going to have to do a lot of editing to the video from the recording today at Collecticon. But at some point, I was telling one of the vendors that I would like to buy into a Gold Star. I just don't know which one, but they're really expensive. The guy offers me a Gold Star Gyarados. He says, you want to buy into one cheap? This one's good. He shows me the Gyarados. It's 7K. I'm like, yeah, man, this is still incredibly expensive. He goes, yeah, man, and it's only going to go up. I'm pretty sure that's what he said in the video. I don't know if you could hear it with my mic because I had like the noise canceling turned on, but I don't know if you could hear it. It'd be so funny if you could hear it. It's funny. But yeah, it's hard. I don't know if Poke Beach wants to get it on Pokemon Company's bad side, so he won't make an article maybe, or I could be wrong. I don't know. Usually when something leaks, they talk about it. I just want it to be legit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting excited about these leaks and maybe making a video about these leaks without knowing for sure that these leaks are legit, that kind of doesn't sit well with me. Would you consider buying Prismatic PSA 10s? I had the chance to buy a Leafeon for 800. Last sold is 950. Would flip when Prismatic is out of rotation. I think those cards are going to do well. They're hard to pull and not easy to gem. Slabs are risky. Like I said before, stay away from all-time highs and stick to the popular Pokemon. Evolutions are clearly popular. You're not in an all-time high. It would be nicer if it was a little lower than $800. But if the market stays hot, even now through the 30th, I think before the end of the year, if it's at 800, if it pulled back to 800, it'll probably rise again. That's what I think will happen. Nothing set in stone, though. It's just my opinion. Tax sucks. I do like the slab. I really do. I just wish it wasn't as delicate as it is. Now, for a personal collection, I could see room for having a tag slab in my personal collection. I do like the way the card looks. I do like how some cards will look in it, like the all white uh Zekrom from White Flare. I think would look beautiful in a tag slab. Like there's some cards that I think would look amazing. Okay, what are you ripping? Let's go. I don't know who you're saying that to. I'm not ripping anything. I ran out of all those Chinese boxes that I had before. It's always over $10. Shit's wild. Yeah. What's your opinion on buying Prismatic for future investment 2 to 3 years down the road? Are too many people holding? Okay, I think this is a very, very common question, right? So I'm going to bring you back to this chart. And it's so funny because I'm still here on the Prismatic. Yes, I am on the Prismatic one. Let's look into the full tracker here, and we're going to look at this real quick. So, are a lot of people holding Prismatic? Yes. The reason being is because so many people believe in Prismatic. But you should also be asking how many people are ripping Prismatic? How much has been ripped? Right? Because that's going to determine how much is going to be available out there in the wild, correct? I mean, some people are going to let go of their collection of things they're holding, but you got to think about how many are available out there, how much is being ripped as well, right? With the ripping ships and just people. So we're on the website called TCG Quant. I do have an affiliate link in the description if you wanted to join on this website. I forgot how much it is a month. I apologize for that. I think they have like a 3-day free trial or something like that. Uh, but the site has a lot of tools in it, right? And I will say this: I don't ever push anything that I don't believe in. This site has a lot to offer, right? And we're going to just at least look at this. This is the destruction tracker for Prismatic Evolutions, and so this is an estimated guess as to how many packs have been ripped based on the total cards graded and the pull rates that we have, right? So with the pull rates, total cards graded, there's an estimated 876,408 packs ripped. Keep that in mind. Just think about that number. It's a crazy number. 97 boxes and 10,000 cases. Now, as I've said before, keep in mind that this number is not going to be accurate. Why? Because not everyone grades and not every card is gradable. There are clearly cards that don't look 10 worthy and people will not grade. So the amount of packs that have been ripped realistically is higher than what we have here. This number is higher, the amount of boxes are higher, the cases are higher. We have had a lot of Prismatic come to the market. But keep in mind that it's getting ripped so damn much. I mean, I think as of late, Ascended Heroes has taken that seat as probably number one ripped right now, but Prismatic continues to get ripped, and it got ripped a lot. So for that reason and others, when it comes to gem rates and when it comes to the value of the cards, when it comes to pull rates, with all those combined, I'm a big believer in Prismatic, regardless of who's holding Prismatic. I think Prismatic is a great set. I think the cards are beautiful. I think it's going to do really well long term. I have no doubt with it. I have 2 ETB cases. I have 2 SPC cases. I have 3-pack blisters. I mean, the only reason why I don't have more ETB cases or SPC cases is because they take up a lot of room, right? Booster boxes take up a lot less room. Booster bundles take up a lot less room, but the ETBs and SPCs take up a lot of room. And that's the only reason why I don't have more. The only reason. So that's just my opinion. But I can understand why you doubt it. Maybe you think a lot of people are holding. I assume so. There's been a lot been printed. But at the same time, with people believing in this set, they're going to hold. They're the sets that people do not believe in, they're not going to hold, clearly, right? I think that's obvious. My Mewtube in a tag is fire. My Mewtube. Tube. Whoa. Oh, you have the Mewtube? Oh, that I haven't seen that on a tag slab. That probably looks nice as well. For a second there, I was thinking about Mew, and then I realized it was the Mewtwo in a tube. That's crazy. That's like a grail. That's a really nice card, man. Good for you. It probably looks amazing. Like I said, the tag slab looks really nice. Do you think Pokemon will implement the numbered cards when printing facilities at full capacity? Like, what? No, I don't think so. A lot of those other companies that have done that out of like despair, like needing to create some kind of demand for a specific card to create a chase. Pokemon doesn't have that issue. Pokemon just has iconic Pokemon. They don't even need that. They don't need it. I don't see them needing that in the foreseeable future at all. Like I don't see that happening at all, honestly. Unless something happened where Pokemon felt that they were not succeeding, or maybe they were starting to fail in some kind of way, then maybe. But I don't think that that's anywhere close to happening. Um, I don't think a lot of people are holding Prismatic in the grand scheme of things when you look at how large Pokemon customer base is. It's true. We don't really talk about how small the investor niche is. You know, if you think about, for example, the top investor bro, so-called bro for Pokemon is Rudy, right? But Rudy's channel, for example, just going off of like social media, his channel has been widely based on like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, but a lot of Magic, a lot of other sets as well. He is a combination of many TCGs, and he has the most subscribers out of all the investment space. And the reason why he has so much is because of all the TCGs he covers. And then second to him, who's the next big investor, bro? Maybe Alex, maybe Phillips Collectibles, but he's not exactly like an investor bro kind of content creator. He's like back and forth. I don't know what he is exactly. But then you compare to somebody who is just like for the love of Pokemon. You have Pokerev, you have Real Breaking Nate, you have Coop's Collection, you have there's so many people. Beard Dad, you have there's like three guys with beards. I'm like mixing up all their names in my head. But there's so many people with like millions of subscribers from just the average Pokemon collector. People who will never subscribe to my channel. Like in reality, the decision I made to talk about investment content, like to have investment content when it comes to Pokemon, I kind of stunted my growth. Like at a certain point, it'll cap, right? Unless people were to see that I actually love Pokemon and I implement other things in here and make it a little more fun for people, I guess you could say. But in reality, the investor bro is a niche area of this hobby. So also keep that in mind. It seems big right now because people are having a hard time acquiring product. So because people are having such a hard time finding stuff to rip or buy, they point the finger at the investor bro. They think that the investor guys have all the product. It's impossible. Well, we just looked at the numbers of how much has been ripped. It's not us. There's not enough of us out there to hold all this product that's getting ripped. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that I would think uh is widely done throughout. Like most people, if you tell them that you're holding Pokemon, they probably think you're crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Do you think Perfect Order would be a good hold for 5 years, considering there's a lot of 151 Mon and been ripped like crazy? I think it's affordable right now, so some people are buying. I don't think it's gonna be the greatest thing to hold for 5 years. Um, but it's gonna appreciate. Every single set that we've seen released appreciates in value. Eventually, it'll hit a ceiling before others do, right? It'll rise in value a lot slower than others. Like look at Astro Radiance. I think Astro Radiance is better than Perfect Order, but look at how slow moving it is, right? Especially people talk bad about it on the internet, and so other people don't buy into it. The same thing's happening with Perfect Order. And like I said, Astro Radiance has the Machamp, it has the Sneasler, it's got, if I'm right, it's got the Sneasler. It's got the Starmie V, which is amazing. It's got the Garchomp trainer gallery card. It's got the Dialga and Palkia in there. There's a lot of good cards in that set, and it's taking a long time to rise in value. So Perfect Order, it will rise in value just like Astro did, but it will take some time. Like it will really take some time. Do you believe that a case of PCTBs will hold a significant premium one day? I mean, it seems like that's been the case for everything. It seems like every sealed item has had a premium just because it's sealed. I don't see the value in a sealed item, honestly. Um, but it's been that's been the case. That's been the case so far. So I don't see why that would change. honestly, I think the further down the line we get, the more rare a case will be because remember, you were only able to acquire cases at the start of that release, right? I think that was like in November and January you were able to buy the cases. Um, and then that's it. Now then after that, all they had was single ETB drops. So I don't think that that's going to have a problem having a premium one day because I think it was the last set we were able to get cases from when it comes to like specialty sets, aside from what was still listed on the Pokemon Center at the time. So I think it will hold a premium. Considering I didn't even realize that you wrote this. But yes, we both said the same thing. I was just talking. I didn't even see that comment. But yeah, I think so. Uh, what do you recommend buying Ascended with the drop? Wait. What do you recommend buying Ascended with the drop or investing more into older sets like Lost Origins, Brilliant Stars? I honestly think Ascended will surpass all on the long term 5+ years. I mean, I agree. It's hard. It's hard to argue that Ascended Heroes will do well in the long term because of all the popular Pokemon that it's got in there. Like, in a sense, like we we could almost be thankful that we didn't actually have a Charizard SIR in there, like a Charizard Y SIR, because that set would just, oh my god, even crazier than what it is, right? But it's got all the popular Pokemon in there. Like within the top 10, it's got like three. Let me look at the set again. Let me just refresh my memory. But I think within the top 10 most popular Pokemon or like most investable Pokemon, like I think it's got like three of them. And most sets don't have two, right? I'm lying. It's got four, right? It's got, if you look up like the most popular Pokemon, you're gonna run into Gengar, Pikachu, Dragonite, and it's got two Pikachus nonetheless. It does have Charizard being one of the most popular as well. It is a gold, and it doesn't look that great. I like the Phantasmal Flames Gold better, but it's still Charizard. So if we include this, we have four within the top row of the most popular Pokemon ever. We have double of the Pikachu, and we have Mewtwo. So we have five of the most popular Pokemon ever in this one set. And then we cannot ignore that Psyduck. If you look at all the old Psyduck cards, they all do really well, like really well, in the long term. Like when it comes to like history, like investable Pokemon, Psyduck doesn't really get talked about too much, but all those Psyduck cards do really well. If you look back, Clefairy cards do decently well, but Psyduck is just underrated. Like if you look it up, if you look up old Psyduck cards and Slowbro cards, it's not there's no Slowbro in here, but just to include because they have tag team cards together, does really well. Outside of that, you have another Gengar, you got another Dragonite. Thank goodness we don't have a freaking Pikachu Mega Attack Rare. Oh my gosh. And then we have other starters here, right? We got the Mega Emboar, we got the Mega Feraligatr. Zoroark is getting more popular every single day. It's been part of the TCG, like very popular in the TCG for a good while. Metagross is also very popular. This set is just insane. It's hard to argue that this set will not perform well in the long term. So I think you're perfectly right with that. Had a blast tonight. Thanks for doing this, brother. Philip, thank you for stopping by. Without you guys, I say it all the time, man. Without you guys, I'd be talking to a camera and nothing else. You guys make this all work. So thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you. Love how hands on you are with the stream. Keep up the great work. Thank you, man. I just try to give everybody the time. I feel like you guys give me the time when you guys watch my content. Without you guys doing that, my content wouldn't succeed. Nobody's content would succeed without you guys. So it only feels right that I give everybody the time that you guys give me. And that's, if that makes sense to you guys, that's just how I feel about it. I don't know. It's just me. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's the way I see things. But I will say that I think Philip here has a great idea to go to sleep because I've got to work tomorrow, and I'll tell you guys, I am exhausted. I feel like really tired. I feel my eyes already starting to like droop on me, like starting to close up on me. But I think we touched up on a lot. One of these days, I will have the video of Collecticon. My beautiful fiance was walking around carrying the phone on a gimbal trying to record me, and this gimbal, you're going to see a lot of edits. This gimbal kept falling to the side. It was supposed to be holding the phone balanced, and it would just like fall to the side because it had the receiver from the mic in the bottom. So I guess the weight was being thrown off, or maybe we just don't know how to use that gimbal properly. It's a DJI 7P something. I don't know. It was like $140. So I thought it would be a lot easier to use, but it's clearly not that easy to use. But I have a lot of editing to do for that video because there's like 2 hours worth of recordings in there and a lot of mistakes because of the gimbal itself. So I'm gonna have to edit a lot. I'll have that video ready for you guys one of these days. I don't know if I'll have a video ready tomorrow because I plan on editing this video and it's gonna take a while. So we'll have to see. And this time I will try to upload it in 4K resolution, regardless of how long it takes. The last time, I think people were saying the quality wasn't that great, but I also didn't upload it in 4K because when I did attempt to, it looked like it was going to take like 5 hours because of how long the video was. But we'll see. I think I'm just going to say screw it, and I'm going to do it in 4K and let it upload overnight or something like that, and just make it happen for you guys. And hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. It was a very fun time. The place was absolutely packed. I had a lot of really great conversations with vendors there. Guys giving me tips, telling me how they succeeded while getting into vending. I think it was really interesting. It was a lot more than just me going around and buying. And like I said before, I didn't buy much. I bought more higher end cards this time than the last time. I didn't buy too many. I didn't find too many gradable copies of cards, so I didn't buy that many cards. And once again, like it's like everything they had out was really expensive. They didn't have none of those lower tier cards available. Most cards were like either like $70 or more. I would say there were some cards that like the Clive that I found in somebody's binder towards the back of the venue. So there's going to be a lot in that video that I think you don't see in other videos. It's not just buying. It's not just working out some kind of deals. It's not just money being thrown around. It's actual vendors talking to me, telling me about their process, about what they did, about how successful they are now, and them really pushing me and edging me on to become a vendor. Everybody there was like really supportive. Like all the people that I spoke to, even the ones that were off camera, were like really great. So hopefully you guys enjoy that video. I do have, like I said, a good amount of editing to do with that video. But I hope you guys enjoy it when it finally does come out. So I don't know if I'm going to have a video tomorrow just because of that. And I don't want to stall that video for too long either. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be going to sleep now. I think it's time. I'm really exhausted. But I appreciate you guys for being here. You guys are the best. I love having these streams with you guys. Hopefully we go live again on Thursday night. And yeah, from now to then, hopefully two videos maybe, and then Thursday live. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys. As always, like the stream. If you haven't already, please subscribe if you do enjoy the content. And with that being said, guys, stay safe out there. Peace.